What is up, my friend? Keala Kanae here, and in this quick video, I'm going to share with you 6 actionable steps that you can implement right now that help me make my first 7 figures online. So this is going to be a super valuable one. Hang with me all the way up until the very end. All right, so the 7-figure mark, right? The kind of the holy grail, the addition of that one extra comma into your overall revenue, and it remains one of the most coveted goals for most beginning entrepreneurs that are starting to have success, right? Get to that first $1 million or so, and it's a worthwhile goal for sure. And the truth is, it can actually be a lot simpler than most people make it. I'm going to share with you in this video 6 things that help me get there. Some of this I've never shared before, and you've probably never heard before, so make sure you hang with me all the way up until the very end of this video for some of the best stuff. Now, before I get into that, just want to remind you, if you're liking this video, liking the channel, you're getting value out of this, click the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get notified whenever we release new content, which I got some really killer stuff coming down the pipe here soon. And drop a comment. Let us know, what did you like? What did you dislike? What did you agree with, disagree with? What other content would you like me to talk about? All that sorts of stuff. Give us some feedback so we can better service you. And at a bare minimum, bare minimum, if you like it, right? It's just fair, right? If you like the content, make sure you click like on the video. All right, with that said, let's dive in. So tip number 1, plan. Plan, right? When I was first having my first 6-figure and multiple 6 figures a year in my online business, I wasn't planning anything, right? I was just kind of winging it. I was go with the flow sort of a thing, right? I was generating leads. I was sending emails here and there. I was, picking things to sell. I was maybe doing a JV launch, maybe not. I don't know. I kind of just wing it. Right? And my income showed that, right? So what are some things that we might plan? Once I started planning, things became so much more fluid and it was so much more predictable, and hitting 7 figures was so much easier, right? So what are some things we might plan? Well, promotions for one, right? Do you know what you're selling for Black Friday? And do you know what you're going to be, a promotion that you're going to be running in Q4, like Black Friday? In Q1? Probably not. Most people don't. I do. I know in Q1, I'm already thinking about, really in Q4 of the previous year, when we're running our Black Friday gig, I'm thinking about what are we going to do next Black Friday, right? And so I'm starting to write that down and document that and plan for it, right? We plan for our virtual events months in advance so that we know, so that we are prepared for it. It's put on a calendar. All the efforts can drive towards it. It just makes things much more predictable. You might plan email promotions, right? Email campaigns or sequences, right? So my team knows, my email team, we know in advance what we're most likely to be selling over the next few weeks. And so we've already created content to like drip feed some of and seed the idea of this thing that we're going to promote to our list quite a bit in advance, right? Weeks in advance. And then because we know that the next week we're going to be selling something on this topic. So we've got to seed the audience with that for the week prior. So we know several weeks in advance what our emails are going to be talking about. That's an example, right? JV promotions, right? So are you going to be doing any JVs with anybody, right? Are you a joint venture? Are you going to promote something to somebody else's list? Are they going to promote something of theirs to your list? What are you planning these things out? I had one not that long ago. We did about $500,000 in sales from that promo. In fact, we had another one not just a few months before that. We did over $600,000 in sales. Those were all planned and well in advance, months and months in advance. So we knew it was on the calendar. We had time to prepare for it. We had time to get all the marketing material together. And there was no mysteries about what was happening 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 12 months down the road. Once you get into the habit of doing that, it will completely change your business, I promise you, right? Here's an example. I just recently got a piece of mail that showed up in my house, a little box. I opened it up. Inside it was an iPad. So somebody that I know, another prolific internet marketer out there who's done 8 figures online, hit me up. This was in March or April. I got a package that was, he was sending me a gift saying, hey, I've got this promotion. He's rolling out a new product. I've got this promotion in August. This is in April, I think, that I'm getting the package. I've got this promotion coming up in August. This is just, a gift, a gesture to say, I'd love to have you as one of my JVs during that promotion. If it fits your calendar, great. If not, then please accept this free gift, right? So obviously he's working on the law of reciprocation, gives me something in hopes that I will, probably send him hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales during his promotion. And think about that though. Here's somebody who's done 8 figures online, who's sending me a gift in April for an event or promotion that's happening in August, okay? He's thinking ahead, he's planning, he's not winging it, right? And so once you get in the habit of doing this, change your business forever, I promise you. All right, number 2, know your numbers. I really can't say this enough, right? So know your numbers in your business. As an example, what can you afford to pay per lead? Do you know? If you don't know, that's a major problem in your business. Do you know what every lead is worth? What can you afford to pay per customer for customer acquisition in your marketing, right? In your marketing and advertising, what can you afford to pay per customer, right? Do you know? If you don't know what every customer is worth, you have no idea what you can afford to pay per customer. I know that on any given month, we're going to pay about 30 to 35% of our overall revenue is going to be spent on customer acquisition. It's going to bounce around somewhere in that window. And if it starts going over, we're paying too much. We need to reel back the ad spend, right? Or if the ad platforms or for whatever reason CPMs are going up or cost per click are going up or lead costs are going up, we know exactly what threshold. It's gone over the threshold that we're willing to pay, and we're going to cut it back because it's starting to cut into the profits, right? Do you know your numbers? I know exactly what percentage of my revenue can go to fulfillment. I know exactly what percentage of my revenue can go to labor costs. I know exactly what percentage of my revenue can go to customer acquisition and lead acquisition. If you don't know those things, you are going to get buried by the competition, right? If you don't know what a lead is worth and then therefore what you can pay per lead, then you are basically just running a hobby, not a business, right? If you don't know what every customer is worth and you're not doing things with the intent of increasing your lifetime value of every customer so that you can increase your customer acquisition costs, because the person who can afford to pay the most to acquire a customer can dominate the marketplace with their ad spend, right? This is how I got over 100 million views on some of my YouTube ads. I knew what I could pay per customer. I was paying $500 and $600 to get somebody to spend $100 with me. Think about that. But I knew the overall value of my customer, right? Once they came through my entire offer sequence and offer ladder was enough that I could afford to eat that up front. And I was paying more than my competitors were willing to pay for their low ticket customers. And therefore I was eating up all of the ad space online, right? So this is how you devour the competition in your niche, is by knowing your numbers better than anybody else in your niche knows theirs. And let me just cover this really quickly as well, in case you're wondering, how do I figure that out? Take your revenue, right? Revenue minus your refunds over the last 90 days and divide, right, by the amount of customers over the last 90 days. This isn't exact math, but it will help you get closer, right? So you take all of the money you made over the last 90 days and then minus out all of the refunds over that same 90-day period, which gives you a net revenue, okay? And then divide that by the amount of customers that you brought through the front door over the last 90 days. If you want to figure out what your lead cost is or what your lead value is, same thing. Revenue minus refunds over the last 90 days. How many leads have you generated over the last 90 days? Is it perfect math? No, but it's a very simple way to give you some optics on how your business is performing, and so you can figure out if you're making $20 per lead, are you willing to pay $10 a lead? Can you afford to pay $15 a lead? It really depends on the amount of infrastructure you have, right? I've got a staff of about 20 people I got to cover right now. So I can't afford to just go spend $15 per lead to make 20 unless it's at premium scale, right? At extreme scale, we can definitely do that. So you want to make sure that you're clear about these numbers, because again, if you're not clear about your numbers and somebody else in your niche is, they're going to eat you alive, right? This is how you grow and scale a business, is math, science. It ain't guesswork. It's not hoping and praying and wishing and thinking and ideating. No, it's knowing how to do some very simple math that'll help you predict the economics of your business and the economic viability of your marketing and advertising plan. That's how you win. All right, on to number 3. All right, so in at number 3, we have create great partnerships. Okay? And relationships, really. It doesn't have to be like a partnership that, where you're a half and half, or they own equity in your business, but that you're creating great partnerships and relationships in your niche, right? In your marketplace. As an example, there is somebody out there who already has the audience that you want to sell to. There is somebody out there who's been in the industry longer than you, that's already built up an email list, that already has the attention of your perfect prospect. If you're not spending time building great partnerships and great relationships, why would they ever want to work with you? Instead of you going out and acquiring a bunch of customers through ad spend and marketing, why not just go to somebody who already has thousands of people who are engaging with their content and say, hey, here's how I can benefit you and your customer. And if you can show them how you can be a benefit to them and to their customer without cannibalizing their business and undermining what they're trying to sell to their customers, if you can be an add-on to all of that and everybody wins in the equation, it is much easier to get your offer in front of those already engaged eyeballs and get their figurehead or their brand that they love to endorse you. It's much easier to do that than it is to go out there to cold traffic and try to acquire new leads and new customers. But you will not get there without great partnerships and great relationships, right? So you want to make sure that you're spending some time out there networking, going to events. I'm going to talk about this in number 4 in a minute, but networking, going to great events, meeting people, engaging, finding out, and really taking a genuine interest in people. Some of the people that I've worked with in the past, I've made them $1 million and they've made me $1 million. And it all came from, genuinely taking an interest in what are they doing? Realizing, oh, hey, we have, similar audience, similar customer avatar. I can help your audience. What are you doing? What are you going through right now in your business? How can I possibly help you? And figuring those things out and taking a sincere interest. And I've flat out told people, listen, even if we never work together, I want to help you, right? And I have. And vice versa, people have for me. And that's why, instead of us running a bunch of ads to acquire those customers, instead we just spend a little bit of time masterminding on how we're going to do it, and bang, millions of dollars in sales later without all of the hustle and fuss of taking the risk of advertising to acquire new leads and new customers, right? So create great partnerships or relationships, right? That will have great communication, that will stand the test of time, that are beneficial to all parties involved. Super important. Now, let's dive into number 4. All right, so number 4 is masterminds, right? And this has become extremely valuable for me in my business. And I believe if you really focus on this, you'll see that it's extremely valuable for you as well. So masterminds. What is a mastermind? Well, right now, like just today, as I'm shooting this video, just a few hours ago today, I was on the phone with a guy who I joined his mastermind for $25,000 this year, right? Every year for the last several years, I've tried to be a part of at least one high-end mastermind that's going to get people together, high caliber business owners together in a room to collaborate, to learn from each other, to share what's working for each other in their businesses. And it's primarily not for necessarily the value that I'm going to get from the speakers on the stage, or the value that I'm going to get from when I present on a stage and they want to buy stuff from me. It's not for that really. It's for, like what I talked about in number 3, it's for the relationships, right? I know that I'm going to grow faster by immersing myself with people who are already thinking, living, and succeeding bigger than me, right? Not that long ago, I had somebody, this is somebody that I used to look up to and like put on a pedestal. Not that long ago, he was at my house here in Las Vegas. And he talked about the fact that he won't even look at a business right now that doesn't have at least $1 billion exit potential. And I'm sitting there thinking, shit, I'm playing small compared to that. But it changed just that one little thing that he said, changed the way that I started thinking about business opportunities that come my way. Right? And I start to shift and realize, oh, why am I not playing a bigger game? Why am I not thinking bigger? Why am I not focused on larger wins when they take, like he said, they take just as much time to put in. If you're going to exit for 10 million, 100 million, or a billion, right? They're going to take time, energy, and money. Why not spend that same amount of time, but with maximum amount of leverage? Change the way that I started thinking about my business. So you don't know what you don't know. But by getting around people that have already accomplished what you want to accomplish, it'll start to change the way that you think. It'll change the way that you problem solve. It'll change what you perceive to be problems in the first place. Some of the things that really helped shift my thinking away from some of the problems that I made up in my mind was the fact that I got around people who didn't even consider those problems. Right? They were so busy tackling bigger problems that the stuff that I thought was holding me back wasn't a nothing. And I decided to just let that shit go. Right? So when I was making multiple 7 figures or multiple 6 figures and I wanted to get to 7 figures, I started getting around people that were already doing multiple 7 figures. Right? When I had my first 7 figures, I wanted to get around people that were making multiple 8 figures. Now today I've done multiple 8 figures. I'm getting around people, that $25,000 mastermind that I joined, I'm getting around people that are doing 9-figure, multi-9-figure exits, billion-dollar exits. One of the people in the mastermind, $4 billion business. So I want to get around people that are playing the game at a higher level than me, right? Because if you're playing, if you're signed up for AYSO soccer or whatever your thing might be, right? If you're playing Little League with a bunch of Little Leaguers, nobody's getting better, okay? But if you're playing in the Little League right now and you want to play in the Major Leagues, go get around some Major League players. See what they do for practice. See how they think about the game, right? And you don't even know what simple sentence somebody might say to you at a freaking barbecue like I'm talking about at my house that just bang, just blew the doors wide open. I'm like, I really am an idiot compared to this person. What a genius idea. Why didn't I think about it like that? And it's changed the way that I think about investing my time, investing my money, investing my energy, and building towards why am I building what I'm building, right? It's changed all the thought processes around that. Masterminds have done that. That's why they call them masterminds, right? They're really getting all those people together, transformational work. So let's dive into the next one. All right, number 5. In at number 5 is to become a perpetual student, right? To never give up that energy, that desire, that student-like ambition for understanding what is success, right? People would like to think that success is some sort of like a mythical happenstance, coincidence, something or other, right? Like God's walking around heaven one day and goes, oh, today it's you, and you are gifted success. That's not how success works. Success is a science, right? You study the clues left behind by other successful people, right? If you study the principles of success, you will be successful. If you study what 7-figure entrepreneurs are doing, you will make 7 figures. If you study what 8-figure entrepreneurs are doing, you'll make 8. If you study 9, you'll make 9. If you study a billion, make a billion, okay? So become the ever-loving student of the game, no matter what. So this is why I'm always listening to audios, right? Whether it's podcasts, audiobooks, whatever. When I get some downtime, if I'm walking my dogs, I just recently got some puppies. If I'm walking the puppies, I'm listening to audios, right? Oftentimes we go on long road trips, I'm listening to audios. Sometimes we're just rolling around the car, running errands, I'm listening to audios. If I can get a little bit of time and I think, I want to maybe listen to some music or put on some background noise, what do? I turn on some audios, right? So either audiobooks or podcasts from people who, again, have accomplished what it is that I want to accomplish. Books, reading. I'm always grabbing books, reading, learning, studying more. I want to know. There's books out, like, think about this. You can devour a decade in a day, right? Somebody spent a decade of their life learning something. They took all that time, those learnings, they dumped that into a book. You can now read the book, and without going through the 10 years of drama and experience and expenses and all that sorts of stuff, you can get the major lessons that they're trying to share. Invaluable stuff. Going to masterminds, like I just talked about in number 4, is also the being the perpetual student. right? I've been at events where I was literally not that long ago, I was at an event with some friends, one of them very successful. We're all sitting in this event. I'm learning. One of my buddies keeps saying, "Oh, let's go outside. Oh, let's go outside." And he kept going outside and hanging out in the hallway or whatever, and going around and grabbing food. And so at one point I just said to him, I was like, "Man, I'm in here to learn, man. What are you here for?" And he's like, "I'm not learning nothing from these folks." And he's very successful, but that type of ego will kill you in the long run, right? I have succumbed to the fact that the more that I know that I don't know, so I better become a student of success. Right? And I'm in this for the long game, not to inflate my ego, not to think that I'm better than anybody, that I have something to learn from everyone. Be a student of the game. All right, and moving on to number 6. All right, number 6, easily the most important. None of the rest that we've covered matter unless you adhere to number 6. And number 6 is never quit. You just never quit. You just never quit. It's not even an option. It's not something that you even consider, right? You just never fucking quit. I failed and failed and failed for my first 12 years in business. All along that way, people ask me, "Keala, how many times are you gonna have to fail before you give up? Keala, how much money do you have to lose before you're willing to give up? How many times are you gonna fall on your face before you're willing to give up? Keala, how much pain do you have to go through before you realize it's time to quit?" And I should tell all those people exactly what I'm gonna tell you now. I am never quitting. Why? Because only if I quit was any of that a loss. Only if I quit was that time, energy, and money a loss. If I don't quit, then it was all just lessons, not losses, right? I learned what didn't work, and I'm doing something different. And it took me 12 years before I finally had even the slightest taste of success as an entrepreneur. And it was freaking worth every single moment of those 12 years, right? So quitting becomes not an option. It just doesn't exist, not in your vocabulary, right? Do you understand that every single thing is figure-outable? You will figure it out. You might not know how to do it. You might not know who to ask for it. You might not know where to go for the answers, but everything is figure-outable. Anything that you come up against. That the only thing bigger than the dream is the dreamer. That's you, by the way. And so you're going to figure it out. You're going to make it work, right? And you got to really ingrain that belief, man, because I've been up against some tough shit in my experience, right? I've been in partnership breakups and millions of dollars and it lost and mismanaged and customer issues and economic issues and all sorts of things. And there's been many times where I was up late at night thinking, Jesus, how the hell am I going to get through this? But quitting is an option. So we figured it out. Eventually, over time, we figured it out. Came out on top. Conquered that, on to the next, right? So no matter what happens, you want to get to 7 figures, you never quit. Obviously, if you want to get to 8 figures, never quit. Multi-8, never quit. 9 figures, never quit. 10 figures, never quit. No matter where you want to go, no matter what success you want to breed, the game is never, ever, ever, ever quit. Period. Right? So, hopefully you got some value out of this. That's 6 actionable steps that you can begin implementing to help you make your first 7 or 8 figures. Hope you got some value out of this. Go ahead and drop a comment, drop a like, drop a subscribe, hit that notification bell, check the description. There may be some videos around here that pop up that you might also want to watch. Engage with the channel, support it, and that way I can continue to create content like this that supports you. Never quit, and I'll see you on the other side. Take care.